the way of things.
Yes, one shield.
Target, light that giant bastard up!
A slaughter to remember! This was all worth it, just to kill you. Keep fighting! You have fight in you yet.
Missiles are inefficient.
To the hunt! Yes, it's takedown for thee.
Brilliant work, Vault Hunter! That ass kicking will make Malawan think twice before they come at us again.
What's up? What's up? So we had the poll. Everybody was able to vote super duper well. I appreciate you guys, hitting that good old vote and sharing your opinion on what you guys did want to see. That helps out me, helps out you guys as well. So that way you guys aren't getting irrelevant information and I'm not putting out stuff that's irrelevant because that would be pretty trash, to be honest. So most people wanted the solo Malawan takedown builds, wanted some more of those. Some people were verbal about wanting to see a Megavore Gamma Burst setup. Some people wanted to see Gamma Burst as well. And then some people wanted to see Slaughter Shaft. So this video right here, there are 2 getting uploaded today. They might be up around the same time, might be up at the same time. It takes a little bit to render. I believe that this one is going to end up being up a little bit before the other one. But yeah, just be on the lookout for the other video. It is for Slaughter Shaft, and it is a variation of this build. I'm still not 100% sure on what I'm going to end up naming it. It might be the Sage 2.0, which is an old build that I had a while ago, but no, might be bringing it back for the update. So there are 3 different ways they can actually play Gamma Burst. So there was the Terror Cryo variation, so that way you get a whole lot of damage out of it. There was the straight Gamma Burst damage annoyance, which work out really, really well. They work out better for the enemies that are just shield and HP, well, red health or whatever you want to call it. The issue is when you end up fighting enemies with a whole bunch of armor, especially the robots inside of the raid, you're going to run into issues because radiation and shock really don't do that much damage to it. So the cryo will work out better right there, but since the event is over, my boys on consoles won't be able to take advantage of that. And I ended up putting out a video for that a while back, and then updating it right now really doesn't matter too much, once again, because the event is over, so you guys won't be able to take advantage of that at all. But there is a way that you guys are able to take advantage of the new annoyance and Gamma Burst, since it got left behind a little bit. Rack Attack can proc it pretty smoothly, Fade Away can proc it pretty smoothly, but Gamma Burst can also take advantage of the new annoyance using 2 little tricks. So one way is actually to fake burst, which just means that you Gamma Burst in an open area, any area that your Gamma Burst won't actually land, you'll be able to go in and pull it off. If you go a little bit further over here, it'll actually just spawn over here, so we're avoiding that right now. And then the other way is to use an extra charge or rack attack on any weapon. What you do is you swap over to the weapon, and then you just swap back. There's a little bit of timing for it, but when you do have it set up the right way, it's like a huge window. It's not really super duper crazy. But when you do end up swapping over to the extra charge or rack attack and then swapping back, you'll get your action skill and anoints for your different gear. And then utilizing that, you'll be able to use it inside a Gamma Burst to get a whole lot of damage. And then I'll be able to show you guys how that looks like inside of the gameplay for this video. You don't need to use it. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. It's perfectly fine to run this build without it. If they end up changing up something in the future, we'll probably have some new stuff to play around with that will give us just as much damage, if not more, depending on how the game progresses. So let's hop into the build. So we're using the Recursion as our main gun pretty much for the solo Maliwan takedown. So you guys have already seen how this thing works. It does a whole lot of AoE damage. The way that the projectiles work is if you end up having extra damage sources from different elements, such as Gamma Burst, such as having Corrosive on your Transformer, such as having Cryo on your grenade, such as having Shock on whatever thing that you are using. You'll be able to get some extra projectiles from a few of the guns. I ended up doing like a quick little video covering some of those. So some of those include the Recursion, which is super duper good in just mowing down packs and packs of enemies. And this is going to be our main gun for the takedown itself. And then we use the Brainstormer for the Slaughter Shaft run mainly. I found that the Recursion kind of worked out better for me for the raid, while the Brainstormer worked out better for me for Slaughter Shaft for whatever reason, but that was just the overall situation. And then inside of the boss fight, I used this Recursion right here, and then I also used this Recursion as well for the boss fight, and I swapped off of the rack attack charge just to see how things would play out. So you guys will be able to get both of these inside of the save file. So Brainstormer, of course, works out super duper well for mowing down enemies as well. You don't really, I don't know if you really need it too much for the setup, but it is an awesome gun to get head count procs. And then we just finish it off with a Cussman. It would do a whole lot of single target damage with this, and it is super duper good for killing the robots such as Woden, aka Wonton, and killing the Valkyries. So we have that inside the setup as normal for a lot of Maliwan takedown raid setups. So yeah, Transformer. I wanted to try and run a stopgap, but I got hit for 17k. So by a Valkyrie. So my life choices have been made for me at this point. So we're rocking the Transformer for the Maliwan takedown until the foreseeable future. We have a Murph Tackler Hex. You can rock a Piss Grenade. Works out really, really well to give you that extra 20% of gun damage. Gives you a nice little boost right there. Cryo works out well against fighting the different robots because they are armor most of the time when you end up having to fight their kind of main gauge of HP. The shield portion is okay, but yeah, Cryo and Corrosive work out really, really well. And then these do not stack if they're the same element. People are probably already familiar with it, but hey, just in case. Then we have this Pharaoh Red Fang. This one is actually pretty bad for the setup. The weapon damage is the only thing that you're really getting value out of. Splash damage is something that I wanted to cover in conjunction with the Brainstormer. There has been like a few comments, not really in not really in our little group, but I've seen it like float around a little bit. I don't really remember exactly where I ended up seeing it, but people were saying that the Brainstormer was affected by splash damage and AoE. This is something that I ended up checking, something that the boys in the Borderlands 3 Discord ended up checking as well and confirming by playing around with Moze and her splash damage skills to make sure that the Brainstormer is not affected by splash or AoE damage. So that's something that might be a little bit random, but it's pretty relevant to Brainstormer since it's one of the better guns inside the game. So inside of this setup, I'll be giving you guys this Red Fang right here. It's a bit better than the Red Fang that's over here in this section. Finding one with a bunch more damage would work out a bit better. Having one with like Hyperion crit shotgun damage would work out pretty smooth. The action skill cooldown rate is kind of redundant for the setup. You don't really need it, but this is a better one than the Red Fang that I have on right now, and the main one that I ended up using in this video, kind of to handicap myself a little bit. Not really much, but you know, it's a little bit of a handicap. And this is our last stand auto idle. Having the last stand auto idle combination works out super duper well. keeps you alive relatively often. We have the taunt on the Red Fang, and this build might honestly have a little bit too much survivability because our pet is able to stay alive 100% of the time inside a Gamma Burst, and then we're able to get our Gamma Burst back very, very easily by using the Brainstormer in conjunction with Megavore and Head Count inside this build. So this might be a little bit redundant. Also, you don't really want these rolls on the last night auto for this build setup. You do want to roll damage. You can get away with having a whole lot of damage as your substats and do a whole lot of work because your pet is tanking and you can just mow through the enemies very, very well. So let's wrap up with the skills real quick. We're just maxing out on damage everywhere across the board. And then the main combination that works out super duper well is the one that I covered probably about a few minutes ago, where you use Megavore with the Brainstormer, so that way you get a whole lot of crits, which means you get a whole lot of Leave No Trace procs, and a whole lot of head count procs, which means you have infinite cooldown, and you have your ammo up relatively often. And that is the red tree. Blue tree is pretty simple, pretty straightforward as well. Maxed out on Persistence Hunter, so that way we're able to get our nice duration and gun damage. Ferocity to get us to that next low point. 1 point of heat bites is super duper important for either your skill tree or your class mod, so that way you're able to get that reflection. The reflection off of the pet gives you frenzy, which means you're going to be able to get more damage. 5 points to the Who Rescued Who, mainly for the HP regeneration. The lifesteal for the pet is a little bit redundant because it is already immortal. And then we have 5 points to Barbaric Yop, so that way our Skag is able to get those big numbers. I know that a lot of people wanted to run the Skag, so wanted to go ahead and utilize that to its full potential. And then 2 points into Pack Tactics, so that way we get a little bit more HP, a little bit more damage. Rocking Empathic Rage to get a bit more damage. And since we're able to take advantage of our anoints inside of this Gamma Burst setup really well, using like the little rack charge trick, we're able to take Empathic Rage as well as Endurance to keep our Gamma Burst up a lot of the time and get a whole lot of damage in a pretty consistent, on a pretty consistent basis, pretty much. And that is that's it. That's pretty much it for the video. I had a Slaughtershot version of this build coming out relatively soon. It should already be out. It might be uploading right now. We'll go ahead and see. It's going to be the same day 100% of the time though. And so you guys can look at that. And yeah, that's it for your boy. If you guys did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like or whatnot. It helps out the video and helps out get quality information out there. If you guys do think this is quality information, feel free to hit that like. You can subscribe if you do want to as well. The notifications are a little iffy right now, I can't lie. Even I'm running into issues with the comment section, so I have to scroll through the whole videos and double check to make sure I'm answering any questions that you guys have or whatever comments that you guys are leaving. That is it. Hope y'all have a good day / night. We are out of here.
Intel says there's an elevator down to the lower levels. Make your way there and be ready for some heavy resistance. I'm counting on you, Vault Hunter.
Push these reds back! I want a secure perimeter! Vault Hunter spotted! We are Cumberland! A good hunt! Keep fighting! Do you see me? Give in to the bloodlust beast. This is the way of things.
Yes, one shield. Rip them to shreds!
I will not be challenged!
What the hell happened? Satisfying.
Prepare thy soul!
Chew them to bits!
Exactly! Now I will be avenged!
You there, how are your last breaths going? Do not panic! Now, let's go hunt! A
slaughtered, remember? Come on now, boy. Glad to see the life back in you.
I return to the hallowed ground. Back to the beginning.
Even as a flock, the Valkyries couldn't end my hunt.
Those were advanced mechs, but we're after something bigger. Keep going.
No refund. Swinging, lad.
Run! Run, you weakling! Don't die on me! Eat them alive! The hunt continues, but yours won't. Let's go now, boy. Gorge yourself! Thrill of the hunt! fight in you yet. I see red. You are forgotten. Accelerating!
I can say.
Another! More! Muzzle off, boy! Pathetic end for a pathetic creature.
May they bring you?
On target! Light that giant bastard up!
A slaughter to remember! This was all worth it, just to kill you. Keep fighting! You have fight in you yet.
Missile bar inefficient. Take a look.
To the hunt.
Don't think twice before they come at us again.